Welcome back. You know, it's always important to prioritize your mental health, but it's not always easy. And that is why Agape Treatment Center has systems put in place to get your mental health on track. Clinical Director Stephanie Robilio stopped by recently to tell us more. Stephanie, last time you were here, we talked about being mindful, but I think there is a deeper conversation about people prioritizing their mental health. Yes. Now more than ever, people are doing that, which is a win.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing. But some people still are afraid to do that because there's still a stigma around what prioritizing your mental health is if you are dealing with depression or addiction. So with that said, what's the first step of taking that journey of making sure you're okay mentally?
Yeah, well, first, right, to admit that I need help. I need help. I'm tired of struggling. I think that's the first step. But beyond that, you know, I think for me, I personally believe, and this is the work we're doing at Agape, mental health is a symptom. That's not the problem, right? People experience things in their life that is hard, that is challenging. Some call it trauma, abuse, others call it just life, right? But those events happen, and then as a result, mental health manifests, or poor mental health manifests. So we teach people, right? There's that educational piece of understanding there's nothing wrong with you. You are not anxious, you are not depressed. You might be experiencing anxiety and depression because something over here in your life happened, and as a result, it led you to this, right? So education, that's the first step. And then helping people own their stories. When you own your story, nobody can say anything to you because you've already owned it. And I think that that completely smashes stigma, because stigma, right? Stigma is, I have a stigma around mental health would mean that I believe something negative about mental health. I see mental health as weakness or disadvantage, but that's me, right? That doesn't have to be you. So part of it is coming from an empowerment perspective of helping people own their story. Just because the world might say mental health is weak, or somebody in your family might say it means you're weak to struggle, that doesn't have to be your story. We can change that story.
You can change that narrative. Oprah says that you must lead with compassion, and that when you find someone who is struggling with trauma, don't ask why are they that way, ask what happened to them. Yes. What happened to them? Yes. What are some warning signs to look for if you yourself or a loved one might be experiencing some difficulties with their own mental health?
Yeah, well, it's the day-to-day stuff, right? I always look at, we can't define normal, but we can probably define functioning, right? So is the person functioning? Are they getting up? Are they making their bed? Are they showering? Are they making it to work on time? Are they missing work, right? Are they canceling plans when they said that they would be there? They're no longer showing up for family dinners, right? These are, I always say, like, we know somebody's struggling before they know they're struggling. We can see it if we're paying attention.
Right.
You got to pay attention, right? Sometimes it can be hidden, but I think it's just looking at the day-to-day changes in a person and then having the strength and the courage to ask them.
Right.
Are you okay? That's it.
They say check in on your strong friends and check in on the quiet ones, but just check in on the people that you love. Agape is this safe space right here in our own backyard that opens its doors and welcomes people looking to make a change, looking for help, asking for that help. What resources do you offer there?
We offer tons of resources there. So we are a dual diagnosis program, which means we have the opportunity to serve those struggling with addiction and mental health. But one thing that I really feel so proud of is that we are helping people identify their underlying core issues that led to addiction and mental health. And so we have things from individual therapy, group therapy, trauma therapy, occupational therapy. We do all kinds of biofeedback. I mean, you name it, we're doing it. We're doing it. And it's really amazing to see the results.